Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for the sign in the title below because this is a bulk introduction. As ever, there'll be a timestamp down below so that you can watch more than one and get past all my waffle. Because I'd like you to watch your sun, your moon and your rising, especially rising. Sun and rising, most importantly, moon as well, because that can influence sort of the way that you're feeling, the more internal inside stuff. But anyway, on I think it's 30th of June, so Monday, the second of 3 Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions go exact. So at the moment Jupiter is retrograde, so it's gone past Pluto, it's coming back again, it's going to go straight past, and then later in the year it's going to go past again and conjoin one last time. So we're in the middle of the story. I've already done the readings because I often think after I go through the zodiac readings, I normally do the intro first, then do the readings, and then I'm like, oh, I want to do an epilogue. I want to do a comment on the themes that I've seen coming out. So I thought, well, why not do the intro second? It's very much we are being tasked to work. We are taking things on board. Our roles are being made clear to us. And when I say that, they're being made clear to us by us or the planets, but it's not like it's getting imposed in from on high. It's all like activating soul contracts and all the hippie stuff, but you know, it's where you feel right, where you have the ability to take power in your own world and just work hard. We are all going to be working the land. Now, just a note, from Aries through till, I didn't realise until Sagittarius, so Aries through Scorpio, I got the houses sort of wrong. So unless you use an equal sign system and your sun, moon or rising sign is 24 degrees or past, where I said the first house, it would, where I said the second house, it would be the first. Where I said the third house, it would be the second, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure there was a reason for it because I sat down and I worked it out, and then somewhere along the line it got mixed up. So ignore what I say about houses in terms of the astrology, but don't ignore it in terms of the reading that I give you, because there will be a reason for it. There will be a reason that, you know, it's either not going to affect the reading at all, or it's going to help me shape the reading that I give to you. As a general reading rules apply. You know, roles can be reversed, timing's hardly absolute, and hey, this one's going to last us till, I think it's either October or December, the next conjunction. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's December. You can ask a question before this reading, so if you want to do that, pause the video, think about all the questions that are around you, be aware of all of them, pick one of them, focus on it to put energy into the process, and hopefully I will return that energy to you. And if I don't, the universe will somehow. I am not going to guarantee that your question gets answered, or that the question you choose is the one that gets answered, because the cards will answer what they want and not necessarily what you and I. So that's why I say be aware of all of the questions. Now, what I am going to do is read the symbols of this degree. So from inside degrees, 24 degrees something is the 25th degree of Capricorn. And in inside degrees, the image is a woman wearing a mask made out of butterfly wings. Now that immediately leads me to, okay, wearing a mask, adopting a role, hiding something, fighting crime, you know, because of course I would think that way. Butterfly wings, transformation, spirituality. You know, it's literally a mask composed of souls, which can be a good thing. I would hope it's a good thing. You know, it's like taking on board the qualities and the duties and responsibilities of civil rights campaigners who passed before us, or environmental activists who passed before us, whoever. So, a woman wearing a mask made out of butterfly wings, wrapped about in customary trappings, made to look and act the part superbly, programmed to do everything on cue. Taking yourself in hand and subordinating all other factors to ambition, power and worldly position, in a premeditated, systematic, super-orderly fashion, fitting the role. So good at this you fool yourself. The perfect wraparound setup of simply turning yourself into what everyone needs to see. There's definitely two ways you can interpret all of this. The perfect wraparound setup of simply turning yourself in is what everyone sees, yeah. But because there is so much manipulation and control in it, this can become highly corrupted. It all depends on the motivation. At best, you will become a viable role model for a given set of characteristics of an advanced kind to be embodied perfectly. But at worst, you will deceive and beguile and manoeuvre so smoothly that no one will know who you serve, who your master is, and where this all comes from at all. Now, Astrotheme says it is in an amphitheatre, an arrow is shot by an invisible hand. So it's taking aim, practice. It's the manoeuvring of spirit in your life. I could waffle for ages, especially that mask one. There is an element of fake it till you make it. There is an element of do not deceive yourself. There is an element of I can see that this needs to be done, and I can see that this is the person I need to be in order to get it done. So have a look at each reading, see what you think. Obviously, I'm going to ask you to like the videos if you do like them. Subscribe if you like what you see, because the subscribes and the like buttons really do help the video and the channel irrespectively, sorry. And comment, because it's always good to receive your feedback. Sometimes YouTube is a bit slow to alerting me that I have the comments, but you know, I will get back to you sometimes as late as 3 weeks later, but I try to do it quicker than that. I really do. But in the meantime, I think that's everything I've got to say. Oh yes, down below, details about the reading, obviously, details of how to contact me, and a link to a Facebook group where I post these videos and the astrology videos I watch, and various other things that I find of interest. So I don't really use the community tab, but one thing I would ask with this one also, I'm thinking about starting to do live streams, so let me know if you're interested in that. And obviously I'm still working on, although I haven't done any for a week or so, Chinese and Western zodiac combinations. So again, comment and let me know if there's any I need to put on my list. All right, I'll bring up the cards. And welcome Capricorn Rising and Capricorn Moon if you've just joined us after the timestamp. And of course, if you are Capricorn Rising, this is in your first house, unless of course you use the equal sign houses and you're the later degrees of Capricorn, in which case this will be your 12th house, which I imagine would make quite a difference. Your first house is what people see and the impression that you give. Your 12th house is that dark and secret place of endings and deep stirrings. Now, there is a lot of fire in your reading here. We have 5 of Wands, 3 of Wands, 7 of Wands, all fire. Seeker of Flames, 10 of Flames, they equate to Wands. We have the Ace of Wands down here. I think that's it for the fire, but that's the first thing that really jumped out at me. And the other thing is, it's almost like there's something that you have been conflicted about whether you want to be involved or not, or whether you are going to do something about it or not, whether you are going to commit to a dream that you actually hold quite precious, or a principle that you hold quite precious to yourself or not. This is a dream or a principle that you consider as part of your character, or as what should be part of your character. Something that you see the sense of, whether that's sense in a common sense, practical, day-to-day way, or whether that's in a more spiritual sense way, but you feel that this should be or is part of your core essential personality. But there is an apprehension on acting upon it. There is definitely an amount of confliction, but I think by acting upon it, you actually gain a form of victory where you will be called to defend, but you'll also be in the company of peers defending. But also by acting on it, you gain some form of freedom. So maybe this is a part of yourself that you've been suppressing for a while, or a principle that you have been suppressing, you know, just for the sake of political expediency for the people that are around you, you know, at work or at home or in the community or what have you. And there isn't a point of, I can't take this no more, I need to do something about it. That's not what I'm seeing going on here. It's more of a, if I'm going to be true to myself, then I either act on this principle or I abandon this principle and accept that it is no longer part of me. And definitely acting on this principle creates a burden on you, but it is something that is guided. It is something that your intuition is pushing you to go and do, even though it hurts. 3 of stars here, which is quite a calamitous card. So I do feel as if with this principle, you're like, what do I do? Do I step forward? And if I am going to step forward, if I'm going to make my voice heard, how am I going to do it? Both 3 of swords. Now I need to tell you about my Nostradamus deck. There was 3 cards missing out of the stars suit, 7, 8 and 9. And then there was duplicates of 3, 4, 5 and 6. So as you can see, I marked the duplicates with this little spiral. So that's also telling me that that pain's going to come home to roost one way or another, but you can use it, you can transmute it, you can use it as a method of growth. And this is something that you need to consider your moves carefully. The 7 indicates an element of strategy, an element of, yeah, if you're going to have a victory over that hill, great, you've just had a victory and now you're defending a hill. Is it that defendable? Have you got people standing with you? Well, with this 7 of Wands, yes, because I am feeling that sense of recognition by your peers and support from your peers. But it's almost like, I think you're going to be strangely surprised by a lot of what you find out from the people around you. I do feel that by taking this stand or acting on this principle, you're actually going to receive more support than what you thought you was, because other people come together with you and see the value in what it is that you are doing. And you will be pleasantly surprised by the support that you get. But you have to remember to be fair, because just because you are going to act on this principle, assuming that you do, And don't choose the abandon it route, because if you're going to choose the abandon the principle route, then this reading's probably finished for you already. But if you are going to stand up for whatever it is, then you need to accept that you need balance, justice here, Two of Swords here, in the way that you do this. You need to make sure that you are being fair. You need to make sure that you recognize that your progress will be slow, and do not rage against it. I mean, let's face it, you've been in that do I, don't I, or the not acting on position for quite some time. And these cards are suggesting that, yeah, you should act on it, but there is a danger in surging ahead too fast. Devil card here, so I clarified it. I also feel that whatever this battle is, it may not be as close to home as what you think it is. Not that it doesn't hit close to home, but where you are successful on standing on a hill and defending a position is somewhat removed from your natural environment. But you have to make sure... Okay, you have to make sure you don't fly off the handle if you're acting on this principle. You have to make sure you're getting your facts right. You have to know that progress will be slow, and know that not all the information that comes to you may be correct. So, you know, double check and triple check. But do not fall into the trap of, oh, this isn't working, and sink back down into the background. These are all traps for you here. Or being too protective over what is yours and deciding not to follow on this principle, because you are getting guided on this principle, and it leads you, the Emperor, the King of Coins, and also Nine of Cups. So it leads you to establishing a grounded material world, physical world, day-to-day reality base for you to operate on, where you have some form of authority and some form of access to power, whatever that may mean. You know, it may be political power, it may be power within the office, it may be power within the family, it may actually be some form of cosmic awareness. Cosmic awareness is probably quite pushing it, but cosmic awareness is what I always think of with this this particular Two of Swords, whereas she's wearing the blindfold to enable her to not be distracted as she grabs the two swords of power, let's call them. And notice there is the whole world beneath her. She has a chance to steer the planet as she sees fit, and she doesn't want to be distracted by illusions and fake messages, where there is a chance for information to come to you that you can verify, or you can actually go, no, that's actually a load of rubbish, and I'll tell you why. But you are preserving... I knew there was a moon somewhere on the bottom of the deck. Stand for this principle, yes, but tread carefully, because not everything that you are aware of is true. Not all the messages that you receive are true. So it is a matter of peeling back the layers one after another, which is a burden, but you will soon get to a position where you can see how all the pieces fit together. Now, these cards are Nostradamus, and I didn't even look them up beforehand. All have a quatrain associated with them. So I'm going to look up this Astronomer of Spheres. Alchemist. well, couplet out of the quatrain. Putting chains at the ends of a harsh cable in the year when Mars, Venus, Sun appear in summer. It's all about scientific discipline. Now, Mars is back in Aries. It is in its own summer. It's in its own home. Venus has just turned direct. So, yeah, this is all talking about now. Putting chains at the ends of a harsh cable. Be careful what you commit yourself to. Stand for your principle, but be aware what I was saying about all this information being just a little bit needs double checking, needs fact checking. I mean, let's not forget, even as I do this right now, we're in Mercury retrograde. And this moon card is very much, there is such an opportunity of bringing two poles together. The two swords here, the tame and the wild here. There's another, yeah, two of cups down here. But there is a burden in this and there's a responsibility on this. But because there is a responsibility in this, there is a reward in this. And you can bring things to a level of happiness and nostalgia, you know, a good family contentment. But it's being to a sword straight under that again. Being able to share something different with those that are around you, which is just as equally nourishing as what they've already always been used to. So quite a mission there for you, Capricorn. This is a nice reading, but it's hard work, like a lot of these Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions has. And bear in mind, this is not the end of the story. But yes, take a stand, but don't fly off the handle. All right. So if this means anything to you, Capricorn, comment down below. I've probably given you the like, share, subscribe speech. So in which case your next readings will be your monthlies more than likely. See you then. Cheers.